Now, a survey from Experian that found adults dealing with unmanageable debt are feeling constant stress trying to pay it down and cover the basic necessities. Rod Griffin is the Senior Director of Consumer Education and Advocacy at Experian, and he joins us live. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, I want to ask you first about this survey and to help us understand what is unmanageable debt.
Well, unmanageable debt is that debt that becomes so large that you can't afford to or have to think about making purchases for just daily necessities, things like groceries or gasoline for the car, maybe your rent payment. So it's become so large that you just can't manage it anymore. Or in some cases, it's debt that you're making the payments, particularly for credit cards, every month, probably a minimum payment, but it just keeps getting bigger and it spirals into more and more debt over time. So it's debt that it's sort of taking control of your financial life instead of you being in control of your financial life. And we want to help people break that cycle and make sure that they take control of that debt so that they can have a better, healthier financial future.
And, Rod, what did this survey reveal about how this type of debt is impacting Americans?
Yeah, well, we know that large amounts of debt, unmanageable debt, creates a lot of stress. It can affect your physical health as well as a result. So, reducing that debt can be really important in terms of actually having a healthier life overall. And that's what is so crucial. So, if we can help people reduce that debt, we're going to help them be healthier across every aspect of their life.
Okay, so tell us, what are the main contributors to this type of debt that more and more Americans are finding themselves in?
Yeah, so a big one is credit card debt. As I said, there's about $18 trillion in household debt. 1.2 trillion of that is credit card debt. So if we can reduce that credit card debt, that's going to help. And usually that's the fastest place to start reducing your debt. So if you can pay down those bills, either use the avalanche method to attack the highest interest rate card or the snowball method, starting with the smallest card, pay down that debt over time and then find ways to reduce other expenses. So thinking about that Experian, we've talked to people, and one of the things that they are seeing is what we call subscription creep. So they're subscribed to apps or streaming services, things that are charged automatically every month that they just aren't using. So at Experian, if you go to Experian.com, we can help you identify those subscriptions. And if you enroll in our premium service, can actually help you close those subscriptions that you aren't using, which could give you some money back, put it in your pocket so you could help pay down those debts over time.
And let me ask you this. Do we know of any common threads maybe between some of the people who find themselves dealing with this unmanageable debt? Or are you saying that across the board, it's kind of hitting folks in every demographic?
Yeah, we see it really across the board. There's certainly temptation to buy things. We're familiar with buy now, pay later these days. So the buy in four, it seems like having that little charge for the $100 pair of shoes or $200 pair of shoes isn't a big deal. But when you have five or six of those, that adds up. So it's easier to get debt and take on debt in some ways today. And making that charge with that credit card, you can do that without giving it a lot of thought. Before long, you have or you find you have when you get the bill, taken on more debt, and you've just bought a bunch of stuff, and now you're not sure how to get it paid off. So it's about having a plan, have a budget, know how you're going to repay those debts over time, and think about what you might not need to purchase or may have to put off purchasing for a period of time so that you can regain control of those debts. Really important to have that plan, I think, first and foremost.
Yeah, and you talked about a couple of the solutions there, finding ways you can get more cash and then snowball and avalanche. But what do you think are some of the indicators that someone might really need to seriously consider bankruptcy?
And so if you have debts that you simply cannot pay, that you're falling behind on, that you have what we call serious delinquency. So you late payments 90 days or more past due, starting to see collection accounts. The first step I would recommend is talking to a good qualified credit counseling service. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling, nfcc.org, can be a great place to go to find a local counselor. From there, it's if you just have no other resource, no other opportunity to manage those debts, bankruptcy is a tool in the toolbox. It's really the last resort, but it's Doesn't mean it's not the right tool if you simply have no other option, but there may be other options. So again, reducing your expenses. At Experian, for example, we also have a marketplace at Experian.com that might save you some money in your insurance for your car. We're seeing on average about $800 a year. That could help reduce those debts and take control of them. You may be able to obtain a credit card at a lower interest rate that you could then transfer a balance or reduce those balances, and we can help potentially match you to a card there with a service we call no ding decline with some of the offers that we have, so it won't hurt your credit score. It can help you get control. So look at all of the tools first. Bankruptcy is a last resort. Doesn't mean it's not the right tool, but there are other things that you should probably try first.
Okay, a lot of good resources and a lot of good information. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise this morning.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.